Shirley's got put out a new video. He's in California, as you guys may know. And now he's investigating California voter fraud. That's what Nick Shirley is investigating now. He's investigating voter fraud in California. He's also got another video about the homeless in California that we may look at a little bit later today as well. So like the homeless one is on his like alt channel. This is on his main channel. So we're going to take a look at this first. We'll probably look at his homeless camp one maybe a little bit later, but we're going to start with this one about basically the voter fraud that is happening in California. So, I mean, we kind of already knew it was happening, but let's see what kind of evidence he's able to put forward on this one. So let's jump in.
We're just looking for these individuals as they're registered to vote here. John Thomas and Philip Thomas. Is Gloria here by chance? Because she's 100 years old and she voted last election from here.
Can you see my? I said I want.
I just want to make sure you're not 126 years old.
No, I'm not.
And do you think it's possible like illegal migrants could be voting?
Not really.
Do you know where the ballots might have gone? Like for 108 people, that were registered here?
When it comes to fraud, most people think about money. However, there's another potential massive fraud story taking place in America, one tied to the most consequential system in our country, which is our voting system. This has to do with everything about who runs the country and how elections are actually controlled. And if we don't have voter integrity, what even are we? And there's one state that is the breeding ground for potential voting fraud, and that is California, where it can take up to 1 month to count all of the votes, no voter ID, and millions of ballots are cast by mail. And with voter rolls that are extremely vulnerable to errors, such as over 200 people who are over the age of 125.
Yeah, like California, there are basically two states in the U.S. where the no ID to vote is the most prevalent. California, and I'm pretty sure, Canito, you can verify, New York. Those two states with some of the biggest populations in the country don't require ID to vote. Literally anybody can walk up to a polling place during elections and say, I want to vote, and they can vote. Doesn't matter if they're in the country legally or not. They are voting. And in recent, 15, 20 years, we're seeing how this has become a huge fucking problem. People have always, bearing in mind, the concept of voter fraud in this vein has been in existence for a long time. Okay, the concept of this is not new by any stretch of the imagination. It's just only now, within the last 20 years, are people making a very loud stink about it because of what we have been seeing in the last 20 years. That's why we're hearing about it more now, because a lot of people with very loud voices are talking about it frequently, and we're starting to see more evidence creep forward. We're starting to see the way that certain states operate, where they don't require identification in order to vote, and the discourse about it, requiring voter ID is racist, which again is fucking bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Anybody that says it's racist to require ID to vote, and that it's disproportionately infringing upon, basically the argument that I've heard before is requiring ID to vote is racist against black people. Yet they can never really articulate why that is. Why is it that black people can't go to the fucking Secretary of State's office and get an ID? Why is this? Why do black people seem incapable? There was the one woman, and I don't know if Nick Shirley is going to bring this up in his video. There's the one woman that basically said that computers are like strange alien things to black people. She literally, there's that one, I can't remember, I think she was a politician, literally said that black people are too fucking stupid to use a computer to register for an ID online. And this was a black woman. A black woman said that poor black people are too stupid to use a computer. This is the line that's been getting peddled for years now, where it basically anything that basically creates a level playing field and a legal level playing field is racist. Because again, was she white? Okay, maybe she was white. It's been a while since I've seen that clip of her saying that black people don't know how to use computers. Maybe she was white. I don't know. I don't care. She's still a dumbass that was making excuses of why there should be a level playing field in the voting booth for who gets to vote. Why legal American citizens should be the only ones to vote. So, yeah, it's insane. And we're hearing about it now because the voices have gotten very loud, more in evidence. It's not new, but now we're in the age of the YouTube investigative reporter, and they are able to bring forth the evidence in a way that does not get suppressed by the mainstream media. So now the evidence is starting to get out to people in a way that was not possible like 20 years ago.
Years old, registered to vote in certain areas, and now to see how easy it is to vote, I headed to the location to register to vote inside the state of California. Now this is the register of voters right here, and I want to ask them, why don't you need voter ID to vote here inside of California? I was curious, how come in California you don't need voter ID to vote?
Because when you sign your affidavit, you're swearing that you're telling us the truth, and we compare the signature that you put on your application to the
battery 65%.
Mm-hmm.
That makes no fucking sense. Okay, so you sign your name on an affidavit, one of millions, that I pinky promise that I'm actually authorized to vote, that I'm a legal citizen of the United States and I'm legally allowed to vote. I pinky promise that I can do it. And you're going to put that same signature on your actual voter registration. It's not even an issue of can anyone can forge it. It's not even that. It's literally anyone can walk off the street and go, I want to vote. Okay, sign these two pieces of paper. The same person signs it both, the affidavit and the voter registration, and they're lying the whole fucking time. How the fuck are they going to know? If they don't use ID, if they don't do checks, then you literally have one signature lost in literally millions of signatures. So when it comes down to it, how the hell can you check? You have no means possible to check if the person's lying unless you actually run their name through a system, unless you actually run their name through like the Secretary of State's or whatever California says, the DMV's, the DMV systems run their name and date of birth to go, okay, yeah, they actually have a registered driver's license or ID, like, but I'm guessing they're not doing that. It's literally just, I promise I'm not lying through my fucking teeth right now. That's their check and balance in California. That's it. There's no, like, you need to compare, like, there's no purpose to comparing signatures. If they're signing both fucking things right in front of you, of course the signatures are going to be the same. It makes no fucking difference. I mean, absolutely no difference. And then once you've signed it and it's been registered, it's now lost amongst millions of other identical forms that have also been signed like this. And and now you, as an illegal immigrant that just registered to vote, you think they're going to find your paperwork? No, it's going to be lost forever. You're going to put in a ballot. That sure as fuck is going to be counted. And now you just cast an illegal vote. No one in California is going to know the fucking difference because they have zero checks and balances to determine if you are legally eligible to vote. This is fucking stupid. This is literally begging for fraud right now.
Do you think it leaves any room for error with voter ID, or? Yeah, I'm just like curious because I want to make sure that like our elections are as fair and honest as possible, and I feel like voter ID is just something super simple to have. And do you think it's possible like illegal migrants could be voting?
Not really. How? I mean,
How could illegal migrants be voting? Oh, I don't know. They just walk in, say, I want to, they get coached by someone. They come in, they walk in and say, I want to register to vote. You hand them 2 pieces of paper and go, pinky promise that you can legally vote. They do it. Okay, you're registered to vote. You can go away now. What do you mean? How? Well, no, she's asking, what does that she's asking, I think, what does that have to do with showing ID?
how? I mean, what's showing the ID?
Yeah, if they don't have their ID and they could just sign on behalf of Richard Sherman, then they could technically vote, right?
She's blue screening.
They would be lying.
No shit, sweetheart. Oh my God, she's fucking blue screening. The most simple, basic thing here. Yeah, someone could come in here and lie and sign up to vote, and they're not actually here, but they would be lying. She's literally blue screening at the simplest fucking question here. At the most basic problem that there is with this system, she's going, huh? No, actually better. Huh? Wait, but they would be lying. Well, they wouldn't lie, would they?
Yeah, but what if they just don't care?
Yeah.
What if like Richard Sherman and Billy Bob Joe just don't care?
Supposed to be. Then they're supposed to be prosecuted. How?
But why?
Like, they're supposed to be prosecuted. How the fuck are you gonna prosecute them if they just lie? You let them sign on the piece of paper, and their paperwork gets lost amongst millions of identical paperwork. Like, this is like the level of stupidity here. Well, here's the thing. They specifically get retirees to do voting stuff. Don't forget, like all of the stuff, like the voter rolls, the polls, they specifically get retirees to do polling places. They do that specifically because you literally just sit there and, they sit there and do nothing. You hand out a ballot and that's it. And so, it's getting retired people that are bored to do this. But they're dumb as a box of rocks. They can't even figure out the most basic. He's pointing out the most basic issue with this entire thing. And she's just like, huh? I don't get it. She is the face of this fucking problem right now.
But so you don't think illegals would ever vote, would you?
I don't think so.
No.
Really? Oh, really? Either she is too stupid to fucking function, or she's been coached. And it's just like, no, everybody can. Well, yeah, and that's the other part, is she probably doesn't consider them quote unquote illegal. Did she actually consider them quote unquote illegal? Odds are she probably doesn't. And yeah, it's like, why would illegal people vote? Gee, I don't know. Maybe they're going to vote in the candidate that has been promised to basically give them everything, so they never have to work, and they'll get a house, and they'll get food, and they'll get a car, and they'll get phone, and they'll get internet, and they'll get free childcare, and they'll get free college, and they never have to do a thing, so they can just sponge off of the country and the state for like as long as they exist. Maybe because that's who they're going to vote for. Because that's who they've been voting for the last 16 years? Maybe? Possibly?
So instead of showing your ID, you sign your signature and then it is scanned to verify it is you. So technically speaking, anyone could show up saying they are someone, and if the signature is similar, that vote will then count. And with millions of people voting, it leaves room for fraud to occur. Just take these 2 examples.
A Southern California woman is facing 5 felonies after registering her dog to vote in 2 elections. The dog's vote was even counted in one of those elections. Those behind the stunt say she did it to show the flaws of the current current system.
Hundreds of people who cast votes according to state records, but we found they've been dead for years. Including a woman who died in 1988, and records show she somehow voted in 2014, 26 years after she passed away. Then there's Julita Abutin. Records show she voted in Norwalk in 2014, 2012, 2010, and 2008. The only problem is she's buried here at Forest Lawn. Abutin died in 2006. Is it possible your mother voted in 2014?
There's no way.
Abutin's daughter Maravik says it's certainly impossible that her mother voted, but the LA County Registrar confirms they have signed vote-by-mail envelopes with her mother's name for the 2014 and 2012 election, even though she died 10 years ago.
So
yeah, and that's why I said this is not new. This is not new by any stretch of the imagination. That's why I wanted to preface that up front. This has been happening for God knows how many years. But it's only received the vocal traction to bring it to the attention of the general public within the last 15 to 20. That, like, people are now becoming more aware of it because you have independent investigators putting their investigations on YouTube like Nick Shirley is, and it's not being tamped down, it's not being suppressed by mainstream media, and so they can't do anything to silence it, so more people are becoming aware of it. Like, legit, the easiest fucking thing that they can do is at polling stations, set up computer infrastructure. Someone comes into the polling station, they present their ID to vote, you run their ID through the computer. If they have not voted yet, then cool, you do an entry, person's voting here. Hand the ID back, hand them their vote, hand them a ballot, they go do their vote. If the person tries to go to another polling station, to another polling place to vote, they hand the ID, they run the name through it, they go, you've already voted at this district, fuck off. It's literally that simple. It would only take a little bit of computer infrastructure to do this. Like, in terms of cost, I don't know, the level of computer infrastructure needed where you're tying it to the DMV or the Secretary of State's office, depending upon your state, I don't know, maybe $10,000, maybe $20,000 to set up this kind of infrastructure in this kind of like networked infrastructure in every state. And boom, solved. You hand over either your driver's license or your state ID, which, by the way, you can get if you cannot drive. Every state has the option of you getting a state ID. It costs you maybe $15-20, and it's a state ID. It is a lawful government identification that's got your picture, it's got your name, it's got your address, it even has an ID number. Every state has it. You don't have a driver's license, you can get a state ID for about $20. Every state has that available. You go to the polling place, you either hand over your driver's license or you hand over your state ID. If you don't got it, fuck off. It's literally as simple as that.
So it's not some crazy conspiracy theory to think that people are illegally voting inside the state of California. And with the state receiving millions of illegal migrants, the opportunities for fraud now are even higher as millions of undocumented people are living inside of the state. Now let's go meet up with a man by the name of Urson who has dedicated.
And yes, you can drive in another state with a driver's license in a differentiating state. Yes, you can.
Years of his life digging through voter rolls, finding fraud and inconsistencies throughout the state.
So how bad is the voter fraud here in California?
Well, we actually don't know because law enforcement isn't really investigating it, and we don't have people qualified to actually figure that out.
And what kind of fraud is taking place?
Well, we have voter rolls of about 22 to 23 million people in California. And we have, just in Orange County per se, there's 60 to 70,000 changes a month that happens. So the amount of time and effort to go and follow up with every one of those, we just don't have the resources to do that.
And so what information?
And again, this is something that could easily be fixed with infrastructure. Easily. The whole thing about like dead people voting, how difficult would it be that when a person comes to the end of their life, sad moment, but that death certificate gets registered with the DMV or the Secretary of State's office. And so that is registered. Their name, their date of birth, and everything, that's registered in the DMV. So if anybody tries to register a new license or a new identification, that it immediately pops up in the system. This person's dead. No, you don't get the ID. Like, all of this boils down to there is not an interconnected networking between departments. Like, literally, if they just facilitated this level of networking between the various departments, you could fix the issue. How do you verify there's no address? Okay, Drew, I've got one for you. For mail-in voting, if you want to go to mail-in voting, you go to the place where you get your mail-in. Okay? I have a solution for that. Okay? Mail-in voting. You want to do mail-in voting. Fine. You go to the polling station where they hand out the mail-in votes. You present your ID. No. You can't mail-in voting. There's literally a dirt simple method for to facilitate voter ID for mail-in voting. You go to the polling place where you get your mail-in ballot. You present your ID. They bring it up in the computer. Okay? You have a valid ID. It's in the computer. They print a fresh ballot right then and there with your ID, with your registered state ID information printed right on it. They take that ballot. They have you sign it right in front of them. They check your signature against your ID. There's your vote. There's your mail-in vote. Now you cannot do a mail-in vote in someone's name. You actually have to pick up the ballot from a polling place using your ID. When the ballot is printed, it's printed with all of your specific personal information. You sign it in front of them. They check your signature against your ID. Boom. That is one very simple way that you could do mail-in voting and have it be more secure. That's it. It's literally simple. Or I'll even take you one step fucking further. I will even go one step further on this. You have someone who is disabled and they are not able to go to a polling type place to receive, to acquire a mail-in vote. They are a disabled person. Okay? Fine. You have a system in place where people who are disabled and are not able to go to said polling place to get a mail-in ballot, they can call and say, I want to get my mail-in ballot. I am disabled. You have people that will go out to that person's home, that person's home, with a laptop and a portable printer. They make them really fucking tiny now that you can literally put them in a purse if you wanted to. You have people go to these locations with a laptop and a portable printer, portable, like, rechargeable printer. Go out there. They get their ID. They check their ID. It's legit. They type in the laptop computer that person's information for the ballot. They take that portable printer that you can get at any fucking Staples, Best Buy, whatever. They print out the ballot right then and there with the portable printer that's got all of their information on it. They have them sign it. They check the signature against the ID right there in their home. Go, you're good to go. Here's your ballot. Here's your envelope. God bless. Literally that simple. And you have at least a more secure means of mail-in votes actually coming from actual people. It's literally that fucking simple. What I just laid out to you, it is that easy. Plus, you're giving people jobs. You're giving people jobs of going to because I imagine there's probably millions of disabled people that cannot make it to the polls. So now you're providing jobs to people to go out to these disabled individuals to give them registered ballots that they can then mail in to vote. So you're not only providing jobs, you're ensuring voter ID registration. At the same time, you're killing two birds with one stone. I just literally, in the last 5 minutes, I just came up with that. How fucking hard is that? If a stupid VTuber like me can come up with that in 10 minutes, how fucking hard would it be for a state to implement it? Yeah, you're gonna have to put some money into digital infrastructure and networking. Sure. Absolutely. That's it. You throw on, you do a drop in the bucket of $10,000, $20,000. Missing soldier. Okay, so so the soldiers overseas do the same fucking thing. Give them printed ballots with their name on it. Every soldier, they have a military ID. That is a government ID. So they basically set up the military. They set up stations for military service members to go to. They present their IDs. They check the soldiers there, whoever is manning the polling stations or whatever. They check the IDs. They print out the ballot with the soldier's name on it. They do the signature. They check the signature. Boom, done. It's the same fucking thing. This will work universally for every mail-in situation. It's not that fucking hard. It's not that difficult. It can be done easily, very easily.
Have you been collecting about the voting fraud here in California?
We have people that are still in our rolls from 2008 that are still getting ballots mailed to them that haven't voted in 18, 16 years.
And so if they haven't voted, what's the problem with them receiving those ballots?
Well, sometimes there's votes that happen later on with someone that hasn't lived here for 12 years. And we found several occurrences of that. When we turn that in, those are treated as independent incidences that don't affect the outcome of the election. So they're highly disregarded.
And so, again, simple solution for this. They keep them on their voter rolls and they keep just sending in ballots. Simple solution. You have to register to vote every time there's a vote. Every time that you don't keep people on voter rolls. Every time there's an election, you have to register every single time. Boom, problem fixed. Do you see how fucking easy this is? Every time there's an election, you have to register to vote if you want to vote. Every time. It's literally that fucking simple. This is not a complicated metric here. You do not maintain voter rolls, so you're automatically throwing votes out or anything. Literally, every time an election rolls around, every 2 years, you want to vote in that election, you go register to vote. It's literally that fucking simple. Okay, I'll be generous and say you can register every 4 years. But even then, people move all the fucking time, so I still don't think it works. I think it should be every time there's an election, every 2 years. You got the midterms, and then you got and then you have the standard presidential election. Every time there's a vote, every 2 years, if you want to vote, you have to register. You want to register a couple months out? That's fine, but you have to register for every vote. Every vote, you have to actually present your ID and register. It's literally that simple. You would eliminate a high quotient of fraud that is happening every time by just requiring that people have to actually present ID and register to vote every time there's a major election. Simple.
From our concerns as voters.
And what information do we have right here?
Well, we got several different pieces that we're looking at today. One thing that's just a simple anomaly for people to understand is there's people that show to be 125 years old in our voter rolls. And
how many was those? Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Holy, look, and we got a whole column, and God knows how many cells that are all showing 126 years old. And then you have this next column that's 125 going down. Like, what the actual fuck? Holy shit!
And that's a simple data flaw, but the issue is it keeps happening over and over again to the tune of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds in every county. That's a large size like where we're at today. Another one is we have a lot of voters that are at central locations, 10, 12, 15 people at a place where what is this business? What is it doing? These people are still going to continue to get ballots. Another one is like a lot of the sororities in the dorm houses, where we have typical turnout, or voter turnout is like in the 50 to 70% range, but it's like 106 out of 108 votes cast. So it doesn't mean that that's fraud, but it means these are out of the normal order of what happens. And so that's what we're going to be going around and looking at today and seeing what's out there and what we can find. We have a system where you can register to vote in California without a driver's license number or social security number. Why do we allow that? That creates 9.6 million records that then the state has to send to the Social Security Administration. And when 75% of those come back with no matching Social Security record, it should make every California wonder, why do we have a system like that?
Yes. What was I saying? It's literally basic networking infrastructure. And in this day and age, it would not be difficult to set up the networking to facilitate making connection with the Social Security Administration to verify if this person has a Social Security number. It would not be that hard if somebody actually put some money and effort into establishing it. But they don't. Gee, I wonder why.
A system that's creating work and uncertainty.
And so what have you done to get this information about the voter fraud that's taking place here in California?
Well, we get our information from the Secretary of State. We get it directly from them. It's a lot of information and it's very complex. And so we get this from the state, we package it up, and we help with our other researchers across the state that go and break it down into their own counties.
So we have all this information, and now we're going to go head out into the streets of California and see what fraud we can find.
Where's the first place we're going?
We're going to the local retirement community, and the reason this one is just kind of particularly odd, you got 45 people registered, and 41 of them actually turned out to vote in the last election. So that's just, again, not typical for 55 to 70% turnout. So it's a mental crisis senior rehabilitation center. So we're just going to go there and see, is there 45 people there? Is there beds? And check it out. Can we speak to the supervisor?
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, it looks like there was maybe 41 of 45 people that are registered here. Does that seem low or high to you? Like as far as how many patients or residents you have?
That's probably not accurate anymore.
So that lady right there said that that's probably not accurate.
Right.
So this could be a huge location where hundreds of votes could be casted from this one location. She said that numbers sound like they're inaccurate, 41 out of 45.
Correct. So is there a lot more people that could be registered to vote and could be having their voices expressed?
Well, let's move on to the next location.
You got it.
Now we're here in the University of San Diego because they got lots of voters here, but what's the deal with this location?
It's some sort of institute for peace and justice.
Yeah, I was going to say something about, I was going to say something like that they were at a mental crisis center. That brings up a whole different question of, now we are into sort of a constitutionality thing, which I'm not prepared to go into because I'm not a constitutional scholar. So I am not prepared to go into that, but it does bring up the question of constitutionality versus capability. Every person has the constitutional right to vote, but what if that person who has a constitutional right to vote is not mentally competent and doesn't actually know what they're voting for, doesn't even know what year it is? How should this person be allowed to vote if they actually don't have a grip on reality? Again, that's a debate that I'm not going to get into because that is something that is way above my pay grade in terms of constitutional law and mental competence. So, but it does raise a very important question that other people a lot smarter than I could debate about.
What's the deal with this location?
It's some sort of institute for peace and justice, so it doesn't seem like you'd have a lot of voters like registered at some sort of an administrative office, but it very well could be. I mean, there's students that are all over the place here, so maybe it's some sort of a central mailing house or something like that.
You have a conference room, you have Garden of the Sky, the Kroc School, classrooms, conference rooms, anything but dorms. And this is the location where 58 people are registered to vote here inside of the state of California.
Is this like a central mailing location, like this building for students and stuff?
No, this one is not. So we do have a mail center.
Because right here on the John B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice, it says we had 58 registered to vote and 50 people voted from this location.
So is 5998 Alcala Park? You're saying
is the entire university.
Is the entire university. So where do the ballots go?
I have no clue.
Okay.
I've never seen them.
So far, we're 0 for 2 as far as getting any clarity about.
Okay, on that one, That one's a little bit questionable because she did say that the address that was given was for the entirety of the university. That address where they were registered to vote was the entirety of the university. That one didn't showcase potential fraud there because the entirety of the university could also include dorms. And so that one that's not a gotcha. This one with it being university is not quite the gotcha. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. It would depend if the dorms have the same address or do they have a separate address, which we don't have the answer to that, so we don't know.
Out where these votes are being cast from here.
Yeah, or any sort of real clarity.
And at these locations, when there's only around 40 to 50 people registered to vote, in locations where there's hundreds and thousands of people, it leaves lots of room for speculations, especially when nobody actually knows what the real count is and where the votes are being casted from. And just a reminder, all this information from Urson is the most up-to-date information from the Secretary of State of California as far as the voter rolls go.
The fraud continues. Now we're outside of a extra space, a storage unit location here.
Okay, and by the way, I just thought of another way to make this dirt fucking simple when it comes to voting. If you're going to be having, well, actually, no. You know what? Never mind. Scratch that. I was just running it through my head and it wasn't going to work. I was going to say, do centralized voting for the entire country, where you basically have places in every state that anyone can go to, and it's centralized, and you can do your voting registration at any of these places in any state. But now we're getting into the weeds. That's a little bit more complicated, and I don't think that would actually work. So scratch that. Never mind.
5 people are registered to vote.
Correct.
Did they cast their votes?
3 of them did in the 24 election. Then we had 1 that cast a ballot in the 2020 election and 1 that's never voted. The point is that unless this is a primary residence, right, or where you can sleep, right, which no one's supposed to by law allowed to sleep in their public storage unit, then this is not a legal registration. And these are the things that the county continues to let slip through the cracks.
Let's see if they're here. We have the names of all 5 people. Let's see if they're here. How's it going, sir?
How are you doing today?
Good. We're just looking for a few people here. We have Lily Morey, Philip Thomas, Sydney Thomas, Robert Thomas. We're just looking for these individuals as they're registered to vote here.
Do you have people that live here at Extra Space?
Are you...
Look at him. He is like, look at his face. He's like, oh shit, what just walked in here? This is a look of, oh fuck, what the hell is going on right now?
Robert Thomas?
Oh, okay.
He has no fucking idea what's going on.
Oh, from the Secretary of State?
Yeah, it's publicly available information.
What about Robert, Sydney, Philip, and Lily Thomas? What about them? Do they also get their ballots here?
Who?
Robert Thomas, Sydney Thomas, John Thomas.
That is literally the faces. I'm like, dude, I just work here for minimum wage. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Why are you assling me? I don't know anything about this. I feel, yeah, this is literally, he's literally doing, sir, this is a Wendy's. I feel bad for this guy because he's just shell-shocked right now. Like, he's sitting there like, what the fuck am I supposed to say to this? This is like one time, like, I feel bad for this guy. I feel really bad for him because he's not involved. I can almost guarantee you he's not involved and he has no fucking clue what he's supposed to do right now.
And Philip Thomas. Do you know where any of those individuals are? Any of the Thomases?
No, they're not here right now.
There's no one living in storage facilities, right? That's really the question, right? Just wondering if people are actually living in storage facilities or not.
So 5 people are registered to vote here. They confirmed that nobody lives here. A little fishy. California's got some weird things going on. So 5 people, and they didn't know where any of the Thomases were, but this is their primary location.
Well,
and I'm gonna point out, like, it seems like this is small potatoes. Okay, there's 5 people here. There was 40 people at the retirement home. There was, what did they say? However many that was at the university. And it's like, it seems like it's small numbers, but this is basically, he's playing out that this is endemic. This is endemic of happening across the entirety of the state. So you have to take these small numbers and basically and basically do a times 1,000 on that. So all of these small numbers, when you look at them, this is small numbers in high volume. It's all adding up to potentially hundreds of thousands or millions of votes that cannot be accounted for.
If those two people actually live here and this is where they stay, their primary residence, right? They get their driver's license here, their tax stuff comes here, it's completely legal. But the other people that are here that they didn't know or do know or so forth, right? Are they someone that was just getting something in a storage facility? So.
But this is a storage facility. There's no apartments here.
No.
Nobody's living here.
Not inside the storage facilities. But if the couple that we spoke to is actually, this is their primary residence, that would be legal under state law.
But for these 5 people that are registered and that cast their votes.
And if it's not them, then no, those are not legal.
Those are illegal votes. And so that right there is 5 potentially fraudulent votes in one location inside of a storage unit.
This is super important to understand before we go to the next location. In California, when you register to vote, you must put your domicile location, which is your primary residency. You can then put a different address to receive your mail, but for it to be on the voter registration form and for the voter rolls, it must be your domicile address, your primary address. Now we're going to start going to some of these locations where people have put their primary addresses as P.O. boxes. In locations like the one we're about to go to, over 30 people are registered to vote at this one UPS store.
With this fraud, a lot of these people registered to vote have their primary residency at a UPS store or a United States Postal Service location. Right here, we have over 30 people who are registered to vote, and all these people right here, there's over 30 of them, are registered to vote, and this is their location, and a large majority of them actually voted in the 2024 election against Trump and Joe Biden. And right here we have Gloria. Gloria voted in the last election. She's 100 years old.
Yeah, born in 1925. Still kicking.
What do you think about over 30 people are registered to vote in this UPS store right here? Is that a little strange to you?
Is it through P.O. boxes?
Yeah.
I don't know. What
she doesn't understand. See, this is where I'm going to give a gimme for her. The average person may not realize that while you can receive your ballot at an alternative location like a P.O. box, you need to register your domicile. She may not be understanding or appreciating that Nick is telling her that this number of people registered the UPS store as their domicile. So I'm not gonna bash her on not even doesn't care. It's probably just doesn't understand because the way he put it to her is let's hear him ask the question again.
Born in 1925, still kicking.
What do you think about over 30 people are registered to vote in this UPS store right here?
See, the way he puts it to her, what do you think about 30 people are registered to vote here at this UPS store? She knows there are P.O. boxes. She's not equating that he is saying that they are registering this UPS store as their domicile, not as the place where they receive mail. She's not equating that. So I don't fault her for going well, it's a P.O. box. So what? She's not understanding what he's saying. And she may not even realize there is a difference between registering your domicile and registering where you receive mail. That's why I'm not going, oh my God, this idiot. No, she probably is not understanding what he's asking her.
Is that a little strange to you?
Is it through P.O. boxes?
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you trying to do, or what are you trying to prove?
Yeah, so
you have to re-register where you live, right? Where your primary residence is. And so if you've got a primary residence that's a UPS store, there's a real tiny houses, inside the UPS store for people to live in.
Probably. What's your guys' affiliation?
My name's Nick
citizens.
Shirley.
Yeah.
Could you live inside of a P.O. box?
No.
So do you think it's a little strange that here in California you have lots of people who are registered to vote from these P.O. boxes? Meanwhile, you don't even have to show your ID when you go and vote.
I don't want to be part of the whole MAGA storyline. Thank you.
This isn't.
There it is. Oh, honey, I was on your side, and boom, there it is. Well, he didn't actually clarify. See, that was a little part of the issue. is he wasn't clarified that he didn't clarify that when you register to vote, you have to have your domicile and then your mailing address. He still didn't clarify that. We did say, like, oh, live here. I'm gonna give her, before she fucking went tits up on this, I was gonna give her that, like, because her suspicions were already up. I think when he started trying to explain it to her suspicions were already starting to go up, and she was like starting to go, and she was thinking more, what's your angle versus what's your question, and that's why as soon as he said I'm Nick Shirley, she went, I don't want to part with the MAGA, and instantly went to the fucking SJR attitude. Yeah, as soon as he said his name, the brainwash program, they kicked in, and she's like, oh, MAGA, 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 and stormed off. Because of course she did.
MAGA storyline, man. This is just the straight up facts. Now we're going in. How are you guys doing? Yeah. You're not allowed to be here. Can you step outside? Could we talk to somebody? No. This is super important. Yeah, can you step outside? It has to do with our elections here, ma'am.
Okay, outside.
Can someone come and talk to us?
Is Gloria here by chance? Because she's 100 years old and she voted last election from here. All right, so they won't even speak to us. Do you know Gloria? She's 100 years old. She voted last election here. She's supposed to live in one of these P.O. boxes.
What? No, I have no idea.
A little strange, right? Sir, have you ever met like a Gloria or anything? She's supposed to live in one of these P.O. boxes. She voted. No. No idea.
Oh,
and another thing that's super
guy.
concerning about all this fraud taking place is right now the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, is also leading the way on Polymarket as to who's going to be the Democrat nominee in 2028. What do you think it says about...
Wait, is Ale? Hold up. Hold up. AOC is running for, president. Okay, no, sorry. My eyes didn't work there. For a second, I thought this was like running for governor, but it's the presidential nominee. Sorry. And my bad. I thought this was a Polymarket for governor, not president. Never mind.
What do you think it says about states that don't require people to have voter ID?
It's like inconsistent, so people can kind of like tweak it however they want. So I don't know. I don't trust it. That's why.
Should states require people to show voter ID when they go and vote?
100%. Like I think like people should be verified that that's them voting and that's like them as a person. Like that needs to be like a face-to-face action. If they can't, there needs to be another way of verification.
And what makes you think that way? A lot of people don't think that way about voter ID.
I don't know. I think it's just like a common sense thing. Like it should be you that's voting and like your vote that's going through. So it's not just like anybody.
Do you think people would pass you off for Ralph Salcido if you just said you're Ralph Salcido?
No. Like if I said that to me, they'd be like, really? If I walked up and like I said, oh yeah, I'm 100 years old, they'd be like, what? You can't like fake age. So
this building here in downtown San Diego, there's over 16 people who are registered to vote at this address right here. It wouldn't surprise you if inside of this building alone, there's 15 people registered to vote, yet all the windows are boarded up.
Oh, one of the business was Duckett's, and I never saw anybody go in or out of there.
15 people are registered to vote, and a lot of them voted in the 2024 election.
Doesn't surprise me. This is California for a reason.
Do you think voter fraud takes place here in California?
100%.
And do you trust Gavin Newsom?
No, not at all. You could tell by the way he talks. He never wants to answer a real question. Let's see, he calls ICE, basically calls them out, calls them terrorists. In some ways, I kind of hope he runs for president. That means someone else is going to get governor, and if he doesn't make it as president, his political career is done. I don't see him winning. I really don't.
Right now in Polymarket, he's leading for the Democrats as far as who's going to be the next nominee.
Yeah, Kamala was leading. Look how that went.
Do you think California should require voter ID?
Do I think that voters should require voter ID?
Yes.
No.
Why not?
Why?
How come you need an ID when you go to the airport?
I don't know why you got to do that either.
So do you think it's possible to have fair elections here in the United States if people don't prove who they actually are by giving their ID when they go and vote?
That's too. I can't even answer that. Because I'm like this. If you here, you can vote. It's just too much paperwork.
So point of note, this guy's not an SJR. He's just lazy. No, he's not brainwashed. He's not brainwashed. He's lazy. This guy is flat out fucking lazy. He doesn't want to deal with the bullshit. He doesn't want to think about it. He's just fucking lazy. That's it. He doesn't care. But that's also part of the problem. That people are like, I don't fucking care. Yeah, I just want to eat my chicken. He doesn't care about it. Like Mitch have asked, like, okay, don't you have to show ID when you're getting alcohol or cigarettes? But yeah, this is like how many people are like him and just completely apathetic. When it comes to serious issues like this, they're just like, I don't fucking care. And he's like, oh, it's a lot of paper. Like his response, listen to what he says.
I can't even answer that. Because I'm like this, if you here, you can vote. It's just too much paperwork.
Now that, if you're here, you can vote, that's SJR mentality. That's the SJR mentality. If you're here, you can vote. So basically, if you get like 1 million illegal immigrants, well, that's 1 million votes right there for people that they're not legally in the country. That's his logic. I don't fucking care. You're here, you get to vote. I don't care if you're legal or not. Which that's a shit take right there of saying, I don't care. If you exist, you can vote. Fuck that. But then listen to the second half.
Too much paperwork.
Yeah, too much bureaucracy, too much stuff.
Yeah, and so that's the laziness coming through. Because he doesn't have to do the paperwork. This is like he doesn't want to exercise. That's literally this person going, I don't want to think. I literally just don't want to think. He doesn't have to do the paperwork. And well, no. He's like, it's too much bureaucracy, but he's using it in the royal sense, not actually knowing what the fuck he's talking about. That's the key distinction there. Is like, oh, there's too much bureaucracy, but he doesn't have to deal with any of the bureaucracy. Nick Shirley is literally just saying, present an ID in order to vote. That's the extent of the bureaucracy that he would have to deal with. So he's just, not only is he got a horrible fucking take on if you exist in the United States, you automatically get a vote, regardless if you're legal or not. And there's a whole bunch of bureaucracy that I don't have to deal with, but I have to actually exercise my brain for 0.5 seconds. So that's too much for me. I just want to be lazy and I don't want to do anything. I wonder how much of California social services he's availing himself to. I wonder, is this guy on SNAP? Is this guy getting like unemployment benefits? How much money, what does he do for a living? What kind of work does he do? Or is he living off of the state? Because honestly, that kind of attitude that he's presenting, and in conjunction with, his appearance, I would not be at all surprised to find out that he might be just living off the state. And it's just like, I just want to be lazy. It wouldn't surprise me. And thank you for the tier 1, Shadow.
It's just too much.
So when you go vote, you don't want to show your ID?
Nah. Heck no,
Why?
for what?
To prove that you are you.
I mean anyway. Anyway.
So no ID?
Nah.
What if I wanted to vote on behalf of your name?
Why would you want to do that? Tell me why I want to do that, and then I can make a decision.
What if I wanted you to vote Democrat and you're a Republican?
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, that's a point.
Yes.
But I still ain't approving of it.
We headed to the...
Here it is. He just literally told him why. What if someone wants to vote in your name to vote differently than what you want? I don't care. There's your problem right there. You have too many people, you have too many of the populace that have this thought process of, I don't care. I still don't think you should need ID because I don't fucking care because I'm a lazy piece of shit. Because he is exemplifying himself as being just lazy, and I have a suspicion that certain people are going to watch this video And I'm not gonna say this, but I have a suspicion that there are gonna be certain individuals that watch this video are gonna see this interaction and are going to say he should not have the right to vote. That's the kind of that's what this attitude is going to bring out. Now, I don't think that. I think if he is an American citizen, he should maintain his right to vote. There are going to be people, other content creators, other reactors that are going to see this interaction and are probably going to say, then if this is his attitude, then he shouldn't have the right to vote. That's an argument for something else. I still maintain if he's an American citizen, he absolutely should have his constitutional right to vote. But this apathy, this laziness, this I don't give a fuck is one reason why voter fraud has become so prevalent.
We headed to the next location, and it was the exact same thing where tons of people were registered to receive votes from a P.O. box.
So we were wondering, do these people live here?
I don't know. Yeah.
Like, are they living inside the post office?
This is the address of the post office, right?
Yeah.
This isn't like their mailing address. That's like their actual registration address. Do you see ballots that have like P.O. box on them and things?
Yeah. And it's not a problem if someone is registered here to receive their ballot, but if this is their primary residence, that is a problem. And that's what the case is for all these people right here.
And it's an illegal registration based on state law.
Because this leaves a lot of leeways for people to vote fraudulently, whether it be ballot harvesting or them just voting on behalf of somebody else.
And that's the thing that we have the greatest concern, right? 23 million ballots go through some process. This is one post office in one city, in one county, in our entire state, right? So it just has an exponential impact when you add up all the little small things that are going on.
And as I said, all of this could be alleviated with that simple methodology that I laid out. You want to do mail-in votes? Cool. You set up a system where you have people that go out to the homes that wish to receive mail-in ballots with a laptop and a portable printer. You check their ID verify, you print out the ballot with their information on it, you have them sign it in front of you, you hand them your ballot, and go, here you go, feel free to mail that in. That would take care of all this, because what's happening is the ballots are getting sent out to the through the post office to these people, and you're getting probably in one of these P.O. boxes, you could have 50 people registered, so you could have 50 ballots stuffed into this one mailbox that are all going to get filled out and sent in fraudulently. With my method, you're giving people jobs to drive out to people to check their IDs, type out their information on the computer, print out the ballot, have them sign it in front of you, hand it to them, done. You now have at least a more secure methodology of facilitating mail-in voting. It's not that hard. It won't cost all that much money. It'll cost the networking infrastructure to get it set up, and then gas, and then paying the minimum wage for someone to go driving around to do this. That's it. And you'll have at least a somewhat more secure voting system.
As you can see, there's a lot of issues with these voting rolls and a lot of inconsistencies. And one of these inconsistencies is people over the age of 100 years old that are eligible to vote. For instance, there's a lot of people over the age of 125. And in this video, we just filmed around a 15-mile radius. So imagine what it's like all across the state of California.
And that's what I was saying earlier. Everything that he's done in this video is in a 15-mile radius. Think about how fucking big California is. Everything was just within 15 miles, and they've uncovered probably a couple hundred fraudulent votes in a 15-mile radius. Now expand that to the entire square mileage of California. And think about how big this voter fraud is. It is exponentially bigger than you think it is.
And now let's go see if there's actually 126-year-olds voting in California.
Are you Doris?
She's right here. Yes.
Hello, Doris.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
We're just going through the voting rolls here, and we're just confirming anybody who's above the age of 100 years old. And right here it says you're 126 years old.
No, you got the wrong house. That's a lie.
Are you Doris Wood?
Yeah, but you got the wrong house. I'm Doris.
But you got the wrong place. That's the wrong information, all that stuff. No, that's wrong.
Oh, here, I can show you if you like.
No, it's just that it's wrong.
How come you think here in California they're just messing up on all these voting rolls here?
I don't know,
What's the
'cause I don't know
explanation
what
there?
you're talking about.
Yeah, it says you voted in 51 elections, Doris.
No, not me.
Really?
I'm not no 100-some years old.
I know.
I said I wasn't.
Although we don't know what the last name is. It could be a common first name. It could be a common last name. Although, yeah, this could be a computer entering error. It's possible it could be a computer entering error. Like the same first name, same last name at the same location. The odds of that are slim. So that could simply be that data entry. Someone fucked up their data entry, possibly. Possibly.
I just want to make sure you're not 126 years old.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, it really does say you're 126 years old here.
No.
Says,
Who did this be 126? That don't even make sense.
I know, that's what the Secretary of State says.
Well, the Secretary of State is wrong.
Okay, well.
Put it like this, I was born in 1940, so you figure that out.
All right, Doris.
Okay.
You have a good evening. All right, so this lady's name's Virginia. She's 125 years old. She's voted over 55 times, and she's active on the voter rolls here in California. Let's see if she's home. Hi, how's it going, sir? Doing good?
Nope, I'm cooking.
Okay, well, I'll be quick. I'm just looking for Virginia, 125 years old.
125 years old?
Yeah, she's registered to vote at this location right here. Is Virginia here?
Yeah, but she ain't no 125 years old.
Really? How old is Virginia then?
80.
80? Well, here on the state of California, she's 125 years old. And she's voted in 55 elections.
Huh.
Nope.
Is there another Virginia?
No, not here.
Again, I don't know. See, now we're into a question on these last two. Is this a lie, or did someone fuck up the data entry? Because these last two are sounding more like data entry fuck-ups. Because it's the same thing. You've got the name is there, the address is correct, the age is wrong, and the number of elections voted in is wrong. So, is there a data entry issue? Is this a fraud issue? I don't know. At minimum, it's a data entry issue. How that dovetails into fraud, well, that's a question mark for me.
Virginia.
10-4. It's the only one in the whole world.
Only one in the whole world. Well, I hope she's voting good, so she's not 125?
No.
No. Well, is Virginia doing good at least?
So. Well, she's a year younger than me, and I'm 82.
Go tell Newsom she ain't 125, she 81.
Okay.
Awesome, you do that. Have a good one.
Do you see what the problem is? Every location we went to inside this video, there's something wrong with the voter rolls.
Yeah.
Whether or not the person's 125 years old, it actually doesn't matter. The part that matters is that the information is wrong on the person who's supposed to be voting here inside the United States. And the other locations, people aren't supposed to be living inside of PO boxes, yet they are registering to vote out of PO boxes, making it impossible to track back who that person is to see who actually cast that vote. This leads to lots of fraud, and everyone should be concerned about the integrity of our elections when people cannot show their own ID when they show up to vote.
Yep. And honestly, what I was saying how to do it is the simplest way possible. In the case of those two older people at the end, it was like what I was talking about, where you have a system in place where people can go. If people want to vote, they can call a phone number, have someone come out to their location because they're not able to go out to the location themselves, and register them, print them out a ballot with their name on it. Boom, done. It would be easy. It would be so freaking easy to do. But they won't do it because then they can't commit fraud. It's as simple as that.